Chairman, if you permit me, I will take the Honorable Minister back to the Ejiso by-elections. Honorable Minister, there was a statement that was made on the 24th of April 2024 when you were in Ejiso. You were quoted to have said that no opposition MP can lobby for road projects from me. Do you still hold that view?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I don't remember ever saying that no opposition MP can lobby projects from me. I have never made such a statement.
Well, Ghana Web reported that, but I only quoted this and then to find out from you, would you blame a member of parliament for not having roads done in his constituency?
Well, Honorable Chair, I'm not too sure whether this forms part of my remit, my opinion about the capability of an MP to lobby for road projects to his constituency. I remember the period that I spoke in the Ejiso, and you know that as politicians and also our friends from the media, sometimes we report it to excite the public. Well, I mean, yeah. So we shouldn't. I don't think that we should make this a subject of our deliberations here. With respect, Mr. Chairman.
I'm dragging at something because it has become like a campaign message against certain MPs. As I speak, my opponent is all over the place, making it look like it is me who did not construct roads in my constituency. I was just telling the Honorable Chair that the committee was supposed to do a verification visit to my constituency, especially on a particular road, Tona Kalba Road, that was started in 2015, 2016 thereabout. That road project was terminated. I did a lot of follow-ups to, I'm sure the Chief Director is aware of that project I'm talking about. I even asked the question twice on that road. But because of politics, you see, politicians, especially opponents, they would go and talk as if it is the member of parliament that has not done the road. I'm saying this because people are watching and listening. I want you as the minister, well, we use the word lobby, to let people know that if an MP is not able to get a road done in his constituency, the blame should not go to the MP, because the common fund, the 5% that I get, cannot even reshape a road. Not to talk about constructing full roads, but people go on radio in our constituencies, they chastise the certain MPs, making it look like it is our duty to construct those roads, and we have failed to do it. And so I'm asking these questions just because I want you to educate people as a minister responsible for the road sector. Because you declared year of road twice, but it's so difficult to do them because of the cost involved. So please, Honorable Minister, I just want you to say something regarding this.
I think I've already made a point based on the questions that Honorable Chair asked. Wanted to know the considerations that are that go into prioritizing road development in the country, and I mentioned the economic importance of the road in question and the population density. These are the primary considerations. I have a lot of respect for the committee and the work you are doing, and I do not want to bring political matters here. If I were to be asked this question on radio, you go into full details of that, because you even said that I said no opposition member. Where I was speaking, it wasn't about opposition. We were talking about any independent candidate, and that's why these things came up. And as I've mentioned before, I don't want this committee's work, as important as it is, to be discussing what had happened on political platforms. I don't think we are doing any good service to ourselves if that's what we want to go, the route we want to go. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Okay. Well, but Honorable Minister, won't you admit that a lot of the political commentary, the political rhetoric, the political campaign talk can affect the public's perception about the work that your ministry does? And if they see that particular constituencies, particular MPs are not having road projects in their constituencies, then some of those widely reported statements from campaign statements you have made will then affect the MP or the candidate, and also affect the work that the ministry does.
I have a lot of difficulty going to that route. I beg of you for us to stay on what you have to discuss, because the moment you go, because we also have our own opinion, and back and forth, it will affect the work that you want to do today. So, with the greatest of respect, we can.
Yes, so, Honorable Minister, I agree with you that we should focus. This matter about what goes into the considerations is part of our work, because in a lot of the listed roles here, you have said will be considered when resources are available. We'll consider. So what goes into those considerations? It is important, and this is an opportunity for you to clear the air, let everybody understand that your work, you do an empirical, an objective, a scientific process. A lot of the political talk, perhaps, is not really what you consider. So they are not matters that we should just sweep under the carpet. They are also important, because we are talking about considerations, and there are all of these reports which have been widely put out. There were no rejoinders. You didn't put out a statement to take on the media to clarify, and people have formed certain impressions. So, Honourable Minister, it is part of our mandate. It is an opportunity to clarify these matters, so that even next time, when there is a campaign or a by-election and they hear similar things, they probably will, the Ghanaian people will take it with a pinch of salt.
Honourable Chair, thank you. Honourable Chair, I believe I've already responded to this matter. I've said that the primary considerations are the economic importance of the road and the population density, the number of people that it is serving. For me, those are the primary considerations, and I believe that I've responded to the matter. Thank you.
Honourable BT Baba.
Thank you very much. Even though the chairman has spoken about it, I still want to insist that it's doing a lot of damage to the credibility of members of parliament. So will you consider, having been made aware of what you have said during the by-election, issue a rejoinder for the purposes of also putting issues in the right perspective and making us, as your colleagues, not to be blamed for any lack of road construction in our constituencies?
Honourable Chair, this is a statement that I made, and given your question, I will think about it. If I find it necessary to clarify it, I will.
We'll come to that.
Yeah, I think the Honorable Minister is not seeing the harm that he has caused, because you said no opposition member of parliament.
I never said that. Yes, but I never said that. What did I say? No, can you provide evidence where I said the name was publicized? Why? Yeah, but I'm saying this is a committee of parliament. Please, and if you are not sure what
we have one person speak at a time, please. Yes, let's allow the Honorable BT Baba to conclude, and the minister can respond.
You have been quoted from Ghana Web, and it has been widely publicized, even discussed on various platforms, including radio stations and television. You have given the criteria by which you allow certain road constructions to take place in certain constituencies or districts or regions. And so we are drawing your attention to what you said previously. And I think you were going on a very good tangent. You should humbly say that, well, you made a statement on a political platform. Now that you are with us and having sworn an oath, you want to withdraw that statement. And that is a very good step to take.
Honorable Chair, the Honorable Member wanted me to, was asking if I will consider a rejoinder. And my response was that I made that statement. Whatever I'm alleged to have said, I made that statement. And based on his request that I should consider making a rejoinder, I said I will think about it if I find it necessary. But I never said no opposition leader, opposition MP can lobby for.
Yeah. So exactly what did you say, for the record?
It was a point that I was making, that an independent candidate and a candidate whose government, who's an MP, well, let's put it this way, an independent member of parliament and a member of parliament whose government is in office, that member of parliament is in a better position, because at the end of the day, he sits with him at the same side of the chamber, and that can help. But really, that is not the primary consideration. The primary consideration is based on the economic importance of the road and the population density, the number of people that it serves. So I never said mentioned any opposition. It wasn't a contrast between a government and opposition member of parliament. And I don't think that, like I said, this happened on a political platform. Here we are. I've been asked to come and respond to assurances that we have made, specific questions. And I will plead with the greatest of respect that we focus, so that you yourself, Honorable Chair, with respect, have indicated that because we spent over an hour, for us to wait, you want to go through the matters as quickly as possible so that we cannot divert and so that we can save time. So I want us to respectfully focus so that we can.
So I agree with you, Honorable Minister, and you would also have to help us with your responses. With all due respect, if you had handled this differently, if you had said that, look, with hindsight, you could have better communicated that this is not really what you wanted to say, so let's move on, we will have settled the matter. But when you make it contentious and you want to challenge colleagues and what has been published, then it's only fair that we give all sides more time to delve into the matters. But we hear you. It's obvious that the publication is problematic, and based on your campaign strategy at the time, we'll all learn lessons, and I would ask that we move forward. So let's come to the Honorable Gisela Tete Agbotui's question, who was concerned about the following roads, the the Ewutu Senya West constituency, Obrachi SHS Road, the Bontrasi to Ayiresu Road. Honorable Minister, any updates on this?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, we currently have a revised completion date for this project, which is currently at 21st August 2025. The contractor is on site and the current physical progress is 52%. Yeah. And Honorable Chair, with respect, I have pictures to show the current situation of the road where contractors are on site.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Can you kindly share that with the committee? And are you happy with the progress of work and the quality of work? What are your engineers telling you?
So far, the report that I have indicate that everything is going according to expectation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Minister. Let's move quickly to Professor Kingsley Nyako's question on the Santasi to Apire to Himan Road. He was concerned about when the contractor will return to site because the road had become very deplorable. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, the revised completion date on this project is December 2024. The percentage progress to date is 80%. The works undertaken so far are sub-base, which is 4.6 kilometers, base, which is 11.6 kilometers, and asphalt, which is 11.6 kilometers. The contractor is on site and work is progressing. And Honorable Chair, I've had the opportunity to inspect this road and it's going very well. The people are very appreciative, and I think that the Honorable Kingsley Nyako will attest to it that the situation has changed drastically since then. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. The committee commends you and your team for the great job done there. So let's come to 3rd March 2023. Honorable Thomas Dalu, who asked the Minister for Roads and Highways what plans the ministry has to fix the damaged bridge on the Chiana-Sandema Road. Damaged bridge, Chiana-Sandema Road.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, work is going on currently. The existing culvert, which is 3 by 3 meters box culvert, is being constructed. Now it's being replaced because it was undersized, I believe, with 5 number 4 by 3.5 meters of box culvert being constructed. The progress so far is 55%, and it is expected to be completed by December 2024. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
So, Honorable Minister, whilst the construction is going on, I'm not conversant with that part of the country, the nature of the road. But what alternative routes have been provided since the collapse of the bridge? Have you paid attention to that? Between now and December, that's quite a long time. How are commuters moving from one place to the other?
There are alternative routes that normally when such incidents happen, they use alternative routes, however long that may be. But so currently that's what they are using. But as soon as we complete, they revert back to the regular routes, and everybody will be fine. Thank you.
So, Honourable Minister, since we are on collapsed bridges, let me do this public interest, which affects a number of constituencies, including mine. The collapse of the Honourable Deputy Minister and Honourable Chiwete, the collapse of the Sai-Copper Bridge that connects Central Town, North Town, Adidome, and Joapong, major road project connects the eastern region to Greater Accra through the Volta region. It's been more than 6 months since the collapse of that bridge, and there's been no work at all at that bridge, the Sai-Copper Bridge. Has that been brought to your attention, and what are the plans of the ministry? It's a very strategic road, and it has cut off many communities.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. Yes, this has been brought to my attention, and I do recognize the importance of this road. Currently, it was as a result of overloaded truck that got the bridge to break down and to collapse, so to speak. And Ghana Highways Authority are currently assessing the situation, and they have recommended that it should be replaced with the Bailey Bridge. Mabe Bridge. So they are currently working on it, and we have plans to replace it as soon as possible.
When you say as soon as possible,
and this Mabe Bridge will have 2 lanes. So the pressure on it will reduce as against the.
So, Honourable Minister, when you say as soon as possible, what are the timelines?
Next month. So we will start construction. Yeah. Have assurance from the technical officers that by the end of next month we should be able to start the construction works. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Honourable Minister, and I hope that your technical officers are aware of the consequences of making assurances at the assurances committee and not meeting them. It's a whole different ballgame. If you read our standing orders, on the floor is on the floor to come here and then we'll assess. But as for here, we'll immediately take action. So we hope that
since it's your area,
exactly,
I know you follow it
exactly. Exactly.
So please let's make sure that we follow through the.
Yes. Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. And related to that is when these bridges collapse. Last Sunday, I went to inspect, do some recce around the collapsed bridge, and I noticed that the bridge has not been cordoned off, and I shudder to think what could happen. We don't have street lights. It's quite dark. It is the community people who on their own have tried to put some blocks and some car ties, but it's not an adequate barrier to prevent a disaster from occurring. So, Honourable Minister, what is the practice when these bridges collapse? Should your regional highway people not at least go and cordon off some emergency arrangements to prevent further accidents? Because you remember that the track, when the bridge collapsed with the overloaded truck which was carrying salt, the truck ended up in the river, submerged in the river. So how do we prevent more of these things from happening if the place is not cordoned off? I don't know if my question is clear.
You are right. But you asked the question, what is the practice? I was going to answer it, but you went further and even responded to, what should be the necessary action to be taken. That place should have been cordoned off to give indications that there is a problem there, so that it won't create any accident. Yeah, I've just been informed that this is the situation, that it wasn't cordoned off. I've instructed them to take the necessary action, and in future such occurrence will not happen again. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. So let's come to Honourable Francis Xavier Kojo-Sosu, the Madina MP, who asked the Minister of Roads and Highways when work on the Ayi-Mensah to Damfa Road will commence.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. Honourable Chair, that road, we had a contractor on it, but it was terminated in April 2024 because of non-performance. We are currently repackaging that particular road for consideration. Thank you.